sideline because you got the fat ass. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, is you can run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the fat ass. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms a lot. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Omni tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good lucha.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
WWE Champion, and his name is Big E.
All right, there you go. Big E, your new WWE Champion. Oh, man. Good stuff going on. Good stuff going on everywhere. What is up, everybody? It is Dirt Sheet Dudes. I am Boxman. And across from me, the sultry, the sexy, the smarky, the Smark Wahlberg. What's up, Smark?
Ooh, what's going on?
Oh, see, you even went a little sultry there. I like that. See?
Mm-hmm. It's very quiet storm tonight, I think.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, it's been some interesting shit going on my end, obviously, but I'm all right. I'm gonna live. I hope everyone's all right with that.
I'll allow it.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna live. I went back to the doctor today, so obviously, if anyone saw some pictures on the Hollywood Hangout, I was at the hospital Friday night. But it was rough, but I'm all right. I'm gonna be fine. I'll make it. They think it might be my gallbladder giving out on me, kind of like blowing a head gasket. Ooh. About the same. You know, you start getting bile where it's not supposed to be. You know, you blow a head gasket, you get oil where it ain't supposed to be. Kind of the same thing in your body. I think it might be that. So my doctor today was like, okay, no more spicy foods, no more alcohol, no more soda, no more this. I'm like, no more fun. What the fuck, man? Well, I told my wife, fuck that. I got like a case of beer out there. It's getting drank this weekend. I will take the pain. I will take whatever happens. That shit's getting fucking drank. But so, Mark, I guess I'll go ahead and real quick say I did not watch much wrestling this week. It's been a busy week for me, and today was my son's 13th birthday. I now have a teenager in my house. Does that mean I can smack him yet?
Oh yeah, no, you live in Texas. You're fine.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure it's okay at this point. But yeah, we just went for hibachi, man. Good shit. Good food.
It does sound very good. Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was expensive, but it was good food. I mean, I forget we've got 5 of us now, really 4, and a baby. Baby doesn't eat much, but it was a $100 dinner. Yeah. But it was worth it. It was good. It was really good. I had chicken and shrimps, Mark.
I like me some chicken. I don't usually go with the shrimp. I usually go with like maybe chicken's the go-to, but then maybe like some steak or some pork or something like that.
Yeah, I think you said you weren't a seafood fan, weren't you?
Not too much. I will from time to time. There's a Mexican place here that they just basically put every meat known to man in a fucking tortilla and hand it to you. Put some pineapples on top. I love that. You get some steak, you get some chicken. They have some shrimp in there. That's what made me think of that when you said shrimp. So they have all the fucking meats imaginable. They have chorizo on there, some pork. It's just it's wonderful.
Ooh, you're talking me into this, man. This sounds good.
Oh, it's fucking wonderful. It is wonderful. Absolutely.
Might skip the you know what? Pineapple on half. I'll try it. If it's good, I'll get it next time. That's what I would do.
It's not in it, it's on it. So if you don't like the pineapple, you could like try it with it, and if you don't like it, it's not in the rest of the burrito. So you could just have as much of or as little of it as you'd like.
Oh, I think I could deal with the juice. That's fine. That's different. Thought you meant they threw pineapple on it, which I mean, not the worst thing, but no big deal. No big deal. Oh, look at SBC. Spam in the chat. Spam, 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 spam.
There you go. That's the perks of getting in early. He can take up as much room in the chat as he pleases.
I guess so. All right. Shit. And you know what? We might as well bring it up real quick on here, Smart, since I'm going to be bringing it up in just a minute anyway. Fucking legend Norm Macdonald, man. Gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did see that yesterday. That is really sad.
The guy kept cancer from the public for 10 years, man.
It wasn't really noticeable either. He didn't look like he was all that, it just looked like maybe he lost a little bit of weight, but outside of that.
Looked like he was aging.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? We all do.
Exactly.
But, yeah, man, cancer finally ate him up. But in Norm's honor, I'll do dirty work Friday night for the Hollywood Hangout.
There you go.
I was all set to do something else, but I'll do that next week instead.
I dig it. I saw that his show on Netflix. I just saw that. I got it bookmarked. Not bookmarked, but I have it on the queue, so I'm gonna try to burn through that this week.
Yeah, and I think there's more of those coming out with him also that are already in the can. So there you go. Thought I'd just break that out of the way. A little plug for Hollywood Hangout there coming up Friday night. And speaking of plugs, we'll go ahead and get the rest of them out of the way. Of course, give me one sec. Little volume on the music. Little music. All right. Of course, that means that you're going to be wanting to listen to the High Marks. Where are you going to listen to the High Marks? Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. 2 T's and Mitt. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check them out. And while you're checking that out, go check out the Inhumans. They're on the Inhuman Experience. It's Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. Check them out and subscribe wherever you get podcasts from. And, of course, the Everything Unscripted Wrestling podcast. Check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel over there. They are always having a good time. Check them out on Blog Talk Radio and wherever you get podcasts from. And, of course, Steve Milani's sharing the show, and we do appreciate it. He's over there reviewing films also on Letterboxd, BOXD.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. And you guys know where to find us. Spreaker, iHeart, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, everywhere you find podcasts. Smart.
You got it. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mid Podcast Network on the Mixler Machine. It's Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man, G Wiz, Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. I highly recommend you guys check out this week's episode. It was Luke's birthday. He got drunk and we made fun of him for about 3 hours. What more could you want? Anyways, Sundays, 10:30 a.m. on the Metal Mid Podcast Network, also on the Mixler Machine. It is the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. Last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rack on Tour. It's the Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Poppy Anson, Papa Dave, Sincere, and Young Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available for you. Season 2 is rolling out as we speak, so be sure to subscribe.
Oh, yeah. There you go. All right, so we can drop that down, that little music. We can stop that music. All right. As I said, I have not watched a ton of wrestling. I've watched enough, I think, to get through what we need to here. I did see Big E win the title, and I mean, have I not been pushing for this guy since like early last year?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. I am so happy they decided to pull the trigger on this. I'm a little surprised that he did it, went over to Raw and decided to do that, but that's pretty fucking cool. You know, kind of New Day getting back together a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit like that. I mean, I guess they had been teasing it a little bit Monday afternoon. It seemed like a combination of things. Sort of depends on who you want to believe, but they were saying the overall kind of vibe that they're putting out, or what they've been saying, is that they were trying to do this ahead of football, because they knew Monday night was going to be the first Monday Night Football game of the year, so they wanted to do something that they thought were going to get some ratings on in there, which didn't exactly work based on what I've seen, but they wanted to shake things up. You got Monday Night Football breathing down their necks. AEW's been doing a lot of cool shit, so they needed a shot in the arm, and this is what they went for, and I've been digging it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a few days, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm liking it too. Like I said, I've been pushing for this guy to be champion for a long time. Now I would put this guy on every goddamn TV show that'll fucking take him. Every single one. I would have him on every fucking morning talk show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do. That's me.
I've been saying since like THT days that I think that he's got what it takes to lead a company in this way. And even more so, it's kind of interesting just sort of how much things have changed since the beginning. Like, I remember we've talked about it, you've talked about it, I've talked about it, we've all talked about it. Like, back when they started rolling out those New Day vignettes, where you had people who were kind of excited because there was kind of the rumors floating around that they might have been a sort of new Nation of Domination that obviously didn't end up taking shape.
Mm-hmm.
But then the first couple of vignettes came, and then they debuted, and I never felt sorry for somebody being in a stable before, but I felt bad for all three of these guys because it went over like a fucking lead balloon.
It did.
Like, I just remember how it was just, nobody liked it. Like, they didn't get a reaction at all. It was fucking crickets. It was just terrible. Like, I thought all three were done.
Right.
And I just felt so bad for them, just how much they've managed to turn it around from where they started. You know, the multi-time tag team championship reigns. You know, Kofi ended up getting his world title shot, or world title push. You got Big E getting his world title push.
Yeah.
Like, they've come such a long way.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the chance literally went from New Day sucks to New Day rocks. Mm-hmm. And the crowd got into it. Eventually, they turned the crowd. You know, all three of them did, because all three of them just kept putting 100% into it, in my opinion. This is kind of what, I mean, in my feeling, this is what, you know, when someone's putting 100%. When you've got all three guys putting 100% into a gimmick like that, it's almost got to get over.
They did a good job of pivoting. They did a good job themselves of being self-aware in the company, of letting them, because they came out and they were supposed to be cool, but it was just started off being really hokey, and then they just decided to be as hokey as possible as heels, and it worked for them in a big way.
Next thing you know, they're selling rainbow dildos you wear on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Paige bought a couple of them.
Little Thors, if you will.
That's it. Exactly.
I used to go to a bar that had a little 2-foot dildo hanging from the ceiling named Thor.
Nice.
Charlie's Rustic Bay Inn. I bet it's not even around anymore, this place.
Well, I'll give it a quick Google. Let's find out.
Full hardcore porn in Fort Lauderdale. Full hardcore porn on the TVs. It was literally in a warehouse district. I think I might have told you this before.
You've probably mentioned it in some form or fashion at one point.
Yeah. It's literally in a warehouse district. You know, those little small warehouses that look kind of like, storage sheds. Mm-hmm. Basically, that's what it's in. And it's just in the middle of a couple of warehouses, and that's what it was. What's up, birthday boy?
According to our friends here at opencorporates.com, Charlie's Rustic Bay Inn INC is currently inactive.
Inactive. I figured it was closed. There was a lot of bad stuff going on in that place. So, I mean, not when we were there, of course.
Love you.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course not.
Love you. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Yeah, that place was a little rough. A little rough.
All the best places are.
A little rough. But I still don't know how my buddy found it. I never asked. All I know is we used to stay after closing, and there were fun times there. Good little bar. Had good times there, man. Good times at that bar. Times I'm not going to talk about. Times I probably should have got tested, Smart.
Yeah, it never hurts.
And I don't mean COVID. Okay, let's just keep going from there, I guess. But yeah. How did we get from Big E to that?
The dildos. Dildos are a bridge to everything in the world.
That's right. We were talking about the unicorn horn, the rainbow unicorn horn. No, I mean, look, they turned out to be awesome merch sellers. And you're right. I mean, Kofi had his little run for a little while there. Then, multiple tag team runs for him in different, I think Big E and Xavier had a run, and then Xavier and Kofi had a run. I think they just mixed it up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you think about how often they like to break up tag teams and how the lack of longevity that a lot of tag teams have, within WWE specifically, they love putting people over there, saying that, the people that are wrestling now are the best this or the best that. There's a genuine case based on just how long they've been there and how much they've accomplished just there specifically, that you genuinely could say they might be the best tag team that's been there.
You're right. You're right. For WWE now, it's definitely rare for them to be keeping not only tag teams, but a stable as long as they did together.
Mm-hmm.
A 3-man stable, which, I mean, that's my God, they're usually gone. One of the guys is usually gone very quickly. And they went a couple of years, and they've all had their runs, and now Big E is getting his shot. And like I said, man, I was happy. It was awesome seeing Xavier and Kofi run out there and, congratulate them. And people were obviously online were congratulating the hell out of this guy in WWE and beyond. I forget who it was. Someone said that Brody would have been proud, which I got to admit that choked me up a little bit. It did.
I've been seeing a lot of that. Big E tweeted that out himself, that it was for Brody, and there was somebody had made a nice little image online of him just kind of being in the ring and looking down on him and shit. So that was cool.
Yeah, kind of fading away a little bit.
Yeah,
looking down when Big E is looking at the title. I did see that. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool whoever did that. Pretty fucking awesome right there. But I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to just wait and see what goes on with Big E now. But like I said, I would plaster that guy on every morning television show that would have him. Fucking Family Feud Put him on Family Feud.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. He can tell those dirty answers that they like to hear.
There's actually, if on YouTube right now, I believe it's 92 or so. I don't remember the exact year, but there's 2 full episodes of WWF Family Feud edition. So you got like Randy Savage, you got Tonga, you got just kind of anybody that you would expect to have been there in the early 90s. Shawn Michaels is on there too. It's good shit.
Nice. Pretty fucking awesome there. I have to watch one of those one night. Never know. Never know. But let's see, Mark.
93. It was 93. Sorry.
93. All right. Anything else? Did you see Raw?
I saw that part of it. There was also the I don't know why, but I almost called her Ronda Rousey. Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler had a match, and it was not good. The timing was off. They fucked up some spots. It was just wasn't great. Wasn't great.
Dude, I think Shayna's just had it.
I think that's a good. I'm actually glad you said that because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, if I was in her position, I would just fucking ride the storm out.
Yeah.
I would just, until that contract is up, I would just show up and do as little as possible.
Just, just sit there thinking like she's thinking. She's like, I could snap these bitches in half.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every fucking, just looking around, every fucking one of these bitches. And they got me losing matches with roll-ups. What the fuck am I doing here?
Right?
I don't know. I could see her going back to MMA. Who knows?
I don't know about that. That doesn't mean anything now because you got like Bellator and other companies like that. But and UFC is always looking for people to just pad out fight night cards and shit like that. But she's kind of up there in age at this point. Not in terms of just like, in terms of athletic competition. Because I think she's, I want to say 42, 43 maybe?
Well, they could put her against one of the Paul brothers.
There you go. That's always a surefire recipe for success.
Didn't one of the Paul brothers call out Conor McGregor at one point?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. 41, by the way. That'll probably happen at some point. I think we might have talked about it on this show. I've talked about it with somebody about this before. I don't want to be the person that does it. Being the wrestling fan, I have sort of empathy in situations like this. But I refuse to believe that anybody that's buying these Jake Paul, Logan Paul fights actually believe that they're seeing legitimate competition. Like, they're even marketed as exhibitions in and of themselves.
Right.
So it's like, this shit is clearly worked. Like, come on now.
I mean, if we saw Rocky 3, we know what an exhibition looks like, That was an exhibition for charity against Thunder Lips, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan.
So tie it back around?
What?
Yeah.
What was that?
See, there you go, tying it back around.
There you go. Sounds like you just like swallowed your mic.
I did. I got a little bored. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you said Thunder Lips, and I was like, I'll show you what Thunder Lips looks like. I'm swallowing this week.
The Ultimate Man against the Ultimate Meatball.
That's it.
God, that was a good movie. He was great in that movie. I'm sorry, man. Even had a little hair still.
Mm-hmm.
The steroids hadn't completely kicked in yet.
My absolute all-time favorite Hulk Hogan performance is like he's cutting this promo right before the Halloween Havoc match with the Giant where they do the fucking sumo monster truck thing. And he tells him, he's saying that this like 8-year-old kid who's having like a double kidney transplant tells him being Hulk Hogan, that he needs to belly up to the bar and take on the Giant. No 8-year-old child has ever told anyone that they needed to belly up to the bar.
No, I'm agreeing with that. I have an 8-year-old, and if he said that, I would look at him and go, "What?"
I want to know what type, like, kind of old-timey fucking sick child Hulk Hogan's talking to. This just always makes me laugh because there's no way in hell that interaction happened. He just used some fictional dying child to get over his face.
This little kid named Ricky, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wrote a whole fucking song about it too.
I was just
It says
coming from
Hawks
my
Are in
audition. I was coming from my audition with Metallica for the bassist. And this little kid walked up to me. Belly up to the bar, Hulk. Take on Andre, you little pussy.
That's it.
I said, oh, brother, watch your language. Eat your vitamins.
Stay away from blacks. I mean,
Oh, God. Okay. What did your dad just say? Oh, okay. That was me. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Anyway. That was Hulk Hogan talking, not Terry Bollea. Let's just clear that up right now, by the way.
that was part of his heel turn. Was he suddenly became racist?
Yes, that was Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I put some paint on my face just to do that. The fuck was that? What the fuck was the paint? If there was one question I was ever able to ask Hulk Hogan, I would go, Hogan, during the NWA days, the fuck was with the paint in the face, man?
He did make some weird choices.
I mean, everything else was fine, but he painted in a beard.
I mean, it's certainly an iconic look. I don't know if it's necessarily a good one.
I mean, I'm sure there's many more questions you could ask him, do you talk to Bubba the Love Sponge anymore? His wife? Anyone? But, I'd go with the face paint, probably.
I will say, if there's any good thing that you can say about him, is he's an awfully devoted father, because he did stop mid-stroke to answer a phone call from his son.
He did.
I'm not taking a family call if I'm doing it by myself, let alone if I'm inviting company over.
He really did. He stopped oh, it's my boy Nick.
Hold on, brother. Nick done paralyzed another one.
Oh, no.
Get the pocketbook out.
Damn, you're rough tonight, Smart. You're a little rough tonight. A little rough. Maybe we should get into some wrestling. Perhaps we should. You know what? Why don't we do this? We started with All Out last week, I believe. And why don't we jump into the big dog, Dave Meltzer, according to that's what the 434 calls him. The big dog, Dave Meltzer, has given his ratings for the All Out matches. One I agree with. Absolutely agree with. And you know what? I kind of agree with most of these. And, again, I don't take these fucking dead serious. This is Dave's opinion and Dave's listeners, viewers, whatever you want to call them. So here we go. We had the HFO, the Hardy Family Office, versus and the Best Friends, and Jurassic Express. Remember that match, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I gave it 3 stars. 3 stars. Miro versus Eddie Kingston. 4 stars. I like that. I think that's pretty fucking good right there. I did like that match. Enjoyed the shit out of that match. We got the Moxley and Kojima match. He kept that with 4 stars also. This one I'm not 100% sure. Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, also a 4-star match to Dave.
I gotta be honest, my television monitor kept cutting out, so I didn't see that much of that. From what I saw, it looked good, but 4 stars, 3.5 stars, whatever.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sitting here like, this fucking idiot. Nah, whatever. This is Dave's opinion. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, with 3.5, 4, I mean, is a half a star really a big fucking deal at this point? No, not really. Now, here's where we get a little astronomical. We got the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. They had the cage match. 5 3/4 stars. Isn't this from on a scale of 1 to 5?
Yes, but he's gotten fancy with it over the years because he gave
Mm.
one of the Kenny Omega Okada matches like a 7.5 star, some weird shit. So now he's just arbitrarily tacking on extra stars and half stars according to his whimsy.
I'm thinking this is like he had either like after 5, I think it's how much of a boner he had. This is like 3/4 chub right here during the match. So 5 3/4 stars. If he only had a half one on, probably would have been 5.5 stars. So I believe that anything after 5 is just, where the boner is at this point.
Of course.
I think I'm reaching.
Well, no, he was reaching.
Bad choice of words there, too. Okay, the Women's Casino Battle Royale. Only gave that 3 stars.
That damn sexist.
I mean, the debut of Ruby Riott. She wins. I thought it was... I mean, look, was it a clusterfuck? Yes. And I guess it's hard to really give a star rating to a battle royal with so many people in it because, I mean, it just is. I mean, even in a 3-way match, you got 3 people there to judge. Now you got 21.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, 3 stars. Maybe he got tired. Obviously, no chub.
Well, yes, he was wiping himself down at this point in the show.
Oh, that's what it was. He was tired for this part.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, that meme of the guy, just of the South Park guy with all the jizz all over himself on the computer, just for some reason popped in my head when you said that.
Oh, of course, yes, old Randy Marsh, but his room was way cleaner than Meltzer's because
just cleaning up the room, wiping it down, just Clorox wipes everywhere.
there's plastic just everywhere in that house, just all over the computer chair with the monitor.
Dave, I can sell you that plastic by the roll. Just want you to know that. Anyway,
He goes to Costco.
fucking dude, I can sell you 1,000-foot rolls of that shit. I'm telling you now.
Look, it's Wrestle Kingdom weekend. I'm going to need a lot of plastic. That's all I'm going to say.
Call the packaging guy, man. I'm telling you now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hook you up, Dave. I'll hook you up, brother. Hook you up. I'll even ship it to you. MJF Chris Jericho. 3 3/4 stars. I'm telling you, if they didn't add that last stipulation at the last minute, I think that would have been a match. I swear to God, they telegraphed it, man. Everyone knew Jericho wasn't fucking losing. Jericho was definitely going to be wrestling in AEW. There's plenty more shit for him to do. There's plenty more guys for Jericho to put over, which is what he's fucking there for.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, my opinion right there. So, obviously, sorry if I get a little rambly. I haven't had a beer since last Monday. I'm tired.
See, it's been about 3 days or so for me since I've had anything to drink.
Oh, I haven't had anything since last weekend. Last Sunday night, actually, was the last time I had anything. That Sunday is when my stomach started getting a little upset, and I was like, I'll give it a couple of days. And I couldn't even drink. My stomach was hurting so bad. I didn't want to drink. And then next thing you know, now it's constantly hurting. And like I said, I'm going to live. Anyway, CM Punk, Darby Allin, Smark, obviously, I thought it was a great match. He stuck with the 3 3/4 stars there also.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't exactly the longest match. CM Punk's first match back after 7 years. Still a good match. Yeah. Now, we get to the old Paul White versus QT Marshall match. Dave, I'm with you here, brother. 1 star.
Very fair.
Very fair. Very fair. Listen, they both made it to the ring. That's probably a 1/2 star and a 1/2 star right there. Just both getting down to the ring and the bell ringing. That's probably worth a half a star to Dave right there, each. To me,
It's just basically verification that the match began and ended and nobody got seriously hurt.
correct. There you go. There you go. I think that's all right. So we'll go a quarter and a quarter for getting to the ring, a quarter and a quarter for finishing it. We get 1 star. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now, I got to admit, this surprised me a little bit here, this last one. Kenny Omega, Christian Cage. 4 and a quarter. Let's be honest here. Meltzer's an Omega mark.
Sure.
He really is, which I believe is probably where the 4 already, just having Kenny Omega in a match is 4 right there. Probably, it's Dave Meltzer, come on. But I don't know, man. I like this match. I think Christian, look, Christian was doomed from the start. The way Paul White, let's blame Paul White for coming out there, Hall of Fame material signing, best ever, blah, blah. Oh, boy.
I'm glad that you said this, because the actual truth to this is just that Tony Khan's a really big Christian fan. He's always said that. But I want to believe now, the alternate version of reality that I'm choosing to subscribe to is that Paul White went out there and specifically over-exaggerated just to bury him. Where he's like, oh no, he's great, you're gonna love him, biggest signing ever. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
And then 3 months down the road, here comes CM Punk strolling the fuck on in. Oh God, man, Christian's an afterthought at this point. I'm sorry, man. That he was doomed from the start. It, almost set up to fail, which I don't think he's doing. I honestly, I'm a fan of Christian too. I actually thought Christian had a lot more than they always gave him. He was always just part of something or this or that or being the shit on guy. I like Christian. And I like this match. I'm just a little shocked Dave had it this low, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all is well that ends well. He's a talented guy. I'm not trying to take that away from him. And I think he rounds out the roster well. But I think now that we've actually gotten some of the big name signings that people were perhaps anticipating and hoping for, that, maybe things go a little bit more smooth for him, down the line.
Yeah. Let's face it. We just got 2 real Hall of Fame worthy signings in CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. Almost called him Daniel Bryan. Almost did it. Almost did it.
Not to do.
Almost did it. It is. It's hard not to call Paul White Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
And again, everyone makes fun of fucking Jim Ross. He worked with the guy.
Right.
It's got to be even harder for him. It's hard for most of us right now, but.
What if just sympathetically every time that Jim Ross called him the Big Show, Tony Schiavone just called him the Giant? See, it happens to everyone.
Now we've gone
it's like
through
the scene in fucking the Adam Sandler movie where he pretends to pee his pants too.
Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald happens to be in that movie.
See? Yeah.
There you go. I was thinking about doing that one, but I went with Dirty Work because he's got a much better part in that movie, much bigger part. It was basically his movie.
Right.
So, but there you go. That's old Meltzer's star ratings right there. Not too bad. Not too bad.
No, I guess you were saying that you agree with kind of most of them, and I do as well. It's nothing too outlandish.
Really, I would have just completely skipped the Paul White QT Marshall match altogether. I'd be like, oh, that I did? It happened? What?
It's the first match to get a frown face emoji.
Just gets a crying emoji and
he fucking calls in Andrews area to pitch hit for him.
Just put a toilet and a piece of fucking wood breaking. Piss break. Took a piss break for this one.
There you go.
Sure, mostly. There you go. Let's just get that story out of there right now. All right. Okay. Where to go from there? Why did I have that story up there 2 times?
It meant a lot to you, apparently.
Or I sent it to myself. I did, and I will now close it again. Why there's even less for us to talk about at this point. All right, I guess since we're talking about All Out real quick, let me just bring this up real quick, Smark. It did generate well over, is the quotes that are being used, well over 200,000 pay-per-view buys.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty goddamn good in this, day and age of how pay-per-view is working. And I don't, it doesn't say that includes any of the online, well, I'm sure this includes Fight TV, probably, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'd imagine it would.
But I believe there's a couple other ways to get their pay-per-views, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't know of such ways, but
well, I mean, you're never going to calculate that way, Smart.
well, that's actually kind of a point that I wanted to make about that. Was I was seeing a lot of people online, a lot of people who I know perfectly well have other like alternatives and ways to access the show, saying straight up, and I believe a good majority of them, that they bought the show, and then 2 or 3 hours later saying that it was the best pay-per-view purchase that they ever spent, the best $50 they ever spent, whatever. Like, the lack of buyer's remorse, everybody is saying that they felt good about in today's day and age where such things are so readily available for far less price, that they didn't regret their decision at all. I think that speaks volumes too.
Yeah, definitely. It's always funny seeing people in the stream saying how they just spent money well spent. Sitting there in the stream, hey, I spent money well spent. You goddamn right it was. But anyway, 200,000 is very good. It looks like the original estimate that they were looking for was about 135,000. So they well overdid their estimate. That was right from the mouth of Tony Khan on Busted Open Radio. I guess he has a weekly segment on that show.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, good for him. But they are saying that 200,000 right now is a low-end estimate, and the actual buy rate will be higher when it's known in a few months. So we'll have more on that when it comes out, but that's the estimate right now.
That's interesting.
So, man, listen, you had CM Punk coming back, Sting, you had, there were talk of Bryan Danielson coming in, there were talk of Adam Cole coming in. There was a lot of talk. You had a lot on this show, man. Like I said, this show just kept fucking giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. It was great. It was a great fucking show. And they sold it with a couple weeks before with bringing in Punk on Rampage. It was smart. It was very fucking smart what they did.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, they're always pretty good with this, but they did a good job of building up the matches in advance too. It wasn't one of those situations where it's like, oh, hey, we realized we got a fucking pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit. Sorry.
Nah, it happens. It happens.
Oh no, I came home and passed out for an hour before we went to dinner. I didn't have a choice. I was fucking falling asleep on the ride home.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not usually not a good idea.
Tends not to be.
No, my car's good about that. If I go off the road, it goes beep, 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 beep. So.
Yeah, my mom's got a car like that with the whole anytime you're too close to somebody, the mirrors lights start blinking, and there's a little like you said, a little alert that happens if you go too close to the other lane or what have you.
Yeah, don't have the mirror lights, but my car does tell me if I'm too close, and even if I'm about to get into an accident. Well, at least it warns me. Hey, no, you're about to die. Okay.
I'm not gonna. I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say something. It's nothing racist, but it's extremely offensive.
So, anyway, Smart, you had a few articles that you might want to go ahead and bring up right about now.
Yeah, because I mean, it's very distasteful to make a Paul Walker joke. So, it was his birthday recently. I think we had same day. I think.
Well, Fast and Furious, the first one did come out 20 years ago this month.
Interesting.
Just to throw that little fact grenade out there that can blow up later. Go ahead.
Very interesting. Well, speaking of sleep, I think you can sleep a little bit easier knowing that it is being reported that old Pete Dunne has re-signed with the WWE for 3 years. I know this was weighing heavily on your mind.
Oh, I mean, I told you I haven't been sleeping well. Now you know why. I was not sure whether or not Pete Dunne was re-signing with. Fuck this guy. I don't give a shit.
I genuinely feel bad for this guy. It's not like he's one of my favorite wrestlers or anything, but did the way that your contract was structured, did you ever like fucking land on a double whammy? There were so many big names out there, and like, ugh. Just everyone that was of a bigger name value did end up going elsewhere, which I guess works out for him. Because it's like, well, I mean, you guys got money. Fucking give some to me.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, man, this company, at this point, NXT is going to be, this is going to become like a fucking grindhouse, man. They're just going to bring them in. Whoever doesn't work, bye-bye. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see these purges, if you will, a little more frequently in NXT.
I really do. I kind of wonder what happened, though, because, like, in the article here that I'm getting it from over at F4W Online, the old Observer says 2017, Dunne made his WWE debut as part of the United Kingdom Championship tournament. And I remember watching that, and I remember the kind of buzz that he was generating off of that tournament. And there's a little talk of, like, maybe having him feud with, like, maybe Regal or Triple H or something like that. Like, he was kind of one of the breakthrough, if there even was one. I would say he was the breakthrough star of that tournament, and then just where we are now.
They figured out he sucks.
I guess. I mean, well, I think they put him with other people that also aren't very charismatic. So, I mean, but other than that, like, because he was in the Pat McAfee group, but that was all McAfee in his promos.
They put him with Matt fucking Riddle.
Well, that's true. They did try, I guess. I can't blame them there. They gave him the best they could give him, I guess.
They gave him a charisma fucking magnet. Yeah.
I remember that now. The old there's a pairing for the Dusty Classic. I think they briefly held the NXT belts.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, they tried. I mean, I know the character. Well, he's supposed to be, the odd couple. I get it, but I don't know. I just find the guy very dry. Even his moves, I find dry.
Well, there was a period in time there where everybody was fucking using the joint manipulation shit.
I've manipulated some. Oh, forget it. All right. I don't know. I just think the guy's bland, dry.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that point at this point, but I don't know. It just seemed like he was going to have some potential to develop, and I guess he just never really quite did. He's always kind of just been what you see is what you get.
Well, it's great, but yeah, you do need to develop a little bit, maybe evolve a little bit even. Show some sort of personality is all I'm saying. You don't always have to be the big brooding, look what I can do, give me your finger. Motherfucker, I got 2 feet and another hand. Fuck you.
I think we're finally starting to get out of that realm of things too, because there was a while there where like a lot of the independent wrestlers were all just trying to be like UFC fighters, but in wrestling. Like,
oh, you cut out there for a second, Smart.
it's because that market got so oversaturated so quickly.
Yeah, you cut out there for a second, but gotcha.
Oh no, I was just saying real quick. I think that we've gotten out of that, but there was a period in time there where like everybody in the independent scene wanted to be strong style, badass, tough guy. And it just got to the point where it became so fucking oversaturated that became everybody's gimmick, and like nobody stood out because everybody was doing it.
Yeah, which is why they made Bloodsport. So now once a year they get to do that.
Oh yeah.
Good for them. That kind of work shoot. style.
It's actually I do dig that show. Those I've seen the majority of them. They're usually pretty fun, but that's like you said because it's a once a year thing.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean I saw the first one, so
Yeah.
that's about all I saw. But yeah, but at least But you're right. At one point, everybody was trying to be that, and it's kind of still going if you think about it. I mean,
Oh yeah, I
there
mean those
are.
wrestlers haven't died out, but I'm saying like the new batch of like kind of people on the independent scene, it's almost overcorrected themselves because you got a lot of people that are just like overly corny at this point. They're like super gimmicked up
Right.
because you got like I don't know, you got people like Warhorse out there now, you got Danhausen out there now, just other people that are like kind of trying to follow the Orange Cassidy motto or mold of just being a character instead of trying to be a tough guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now you said Danhauser, and did you go? Did you?
I mean, I'm not going to say that I audibly groaned. I think that's pretty decipherable in the audio.
I think you did. Okay.
Well, let's just say not everybody's a fan.
I mean, all I hear is the guy's fucking awesome.
I've watched, I've tried. It's not for me.
So the guy,
And I say that as somebody who is quite unapologetically a fan of some of the cornier, more sticky type things. I loved me some Chikara while it ran, but there's just a little bit too much for me, man.
now I gotta say, I mean, what is the gimmick?
Oh boy. Okay. That's Disney horror, I guess is the best way to describe it. He's like
Okay.
trying to do like a PG version of like the Ray Wyatt character of like spooky, mysterious guy, but like he's kind of corny and he doesn't swear as part of his shtick.
Sounds like Drop Dead Fred kind of guy.
Yeah, kind of. Like I don't know if he still does this, but when I was watching, he would like kept a jar of teeth that he would bring to the ring. So it was like it was supposed to be this kind of it was a dark character, like at least in concept, but then of course it was obviously like played for a little bit more of a campy, silly, I don't want to say like Freddy Krueger, but like kind of in that vein of it was a little bit more shtick than it was like you would get from like a Halloween or Friday the 13th, that kind of thing.
Okay. Guess I'll have to watch it and see what I think from there.
Yeah, they used to do this one spot where I think you would like it if you were a fan of fucking Pee Wee Herman and I can't remember the movie, but that the part where he's in the biker bar and they're playing that song Tequila, he would do that a lot.
Ah, that was in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
Yes, it was, and he was in a biker bar. Good movie.
I never really saw it. That was a little bit like after or a little bit before my time in terms of like children's television. I kind of missed that part of it.
Well, by your time, he had already probably jerked off in a theater.
That honest to God was what he was known for when I was growing up. And I knew kind of enough to know that he did that.
The funny thing is, I don't know why, I mean, not funny, but the strange thing is for some strange reason, people think he got caught for like pedophilia or something.
Right.
I've heard many people have been like, no, he did not.
I think some of that, I don't know. Like I can't speak for the people that believe that, but I think what he did technically does count as a sex offense, which technically does make him a sex offender. And when you hear that verbiage, you tend to think of a much more egregious type of crime.
All right. Okay, I could go with that. But really, he didn't. I mean, he wasn't on stage with kids very much. He was usually on stage with adults. I mean, Phil Hartman was part of his show. At that time, it was Larry Fishburne. It wasn't Lawrence yet.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the people that he was working with at that time, and it's just very odd that's. But I think you're right with that. That's probably exactly what people think when all they hear is a sex offense, and I mean he was just jerking off in a theater. That's what you were supposed to do in that theater.
Well, I mean, if you get caught taking a piss in public or whatever, you get a little drunk or whatever, and they catch you peeing on the like outside of a building,
Yeah.
you become a sex offender. And like, I would let somebody who like got drunk and peed on the side of a building watch my kid versus somebody who, spent some time at a summer camp.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I don't know, man. I like Pee Wee when I was a kid. I'll still watch some Pee Wee. It's cool. Cool.
I tried. They used to show it on IFC a couple years ago. They would show it on IFC like late at night, and I tried to get into it, but it was just one of those things where just certain shows you had to have been a child or like kind of a certain age to have been able to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I can
I
see
tried
that.
that with Star Wars too. And I felt like if I would have watched Star Wars as a kid and not instead of a grown man, I would have probably appreciated it more.
Yeah. I mean, my kids watch. I have some of the Pee Wee's Playhouse discs, and they watch it, and it's still pretty cool. It's not bad. It still holds up.
I mean, it's definitely creative. It was just, I just missed the boat. It was just one of those things I missed the boat on.
You really realize he was definitely trying to fuck the what was her name? The one girl.
Oh, God. Large March?
No, that was in the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I think, was she like a redhead?
Yes.
Yeah, I can look it up real quick, but I can't give you a name. I just only vaguely remember.
I can't remember her name right now.
Suddenly, as we were talking about Pee Wee Herman, I noticed that the chat exploded. So that's an interesting.
That's what happens. And Large Marge was also in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Let's see. Fucking A. It's going to take a second, but we will eventually get to the bottom of this here mystery.
Yeah, because that's when he left the bar that you were talking about earlier. He
Like knocked over a bunch of, I call them bicycles.
Yeah.
Motorcycles.
Yeah. Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Oh, God, let's see.
Miss. I can't think of it. I want to say Miss Luann, but I'm wrong.
Yvonne?
Yes, Miss Yvonne.
Just trying to make sure that I was reading that properly. Because there was a Miss Yvonne, and a Miss Renee.
Yeah, I think they switched at one point.
She got invived.
Maybe, or one was before. I can't remember, but it was Miss Yvonne. He was definitely trying to bang Miss Yvonne, and Miss Yvonne wanted it. If you listen to the show enough, it was there.
Let's take a look, because they're showing her like current day, so I'm gonna have to do some reconnaissance here and pull up some older pictures.
Oh, you weirdo!
Because she's just a little bit older nowadays. Well, 1946.
Yeah.
So it's I guess.
All right.
If anybody else wants to share in the chat whether or not they would have sex with this
If anybody else wants to do a little Google search on themselves, tell us smash or pass. Poor fucking Roman Reigns has to go out there and use the word smash 100 times, and all anyone's thinking is smash or pass, smash or pass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'm seeing better photos here.
Okay.
Well, Scott from It's Pathetic with Scott and Rybread weighs in and says, "Depends on my mood." It's very thoughtful. I like that he's giving this the proper credence that it deserves.
Oh yeah, that's her, all right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, that's her. Okay. Pathetic said Pathetic went up. That's it. Definitely.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to require anybody else in the chat to weigh in on this, but I'm going to ask you personally. You think he ever got like bored? But just hypothetically, let's say that Pee Wee Herman was a real person and that Pee Wee's Playhouse was a real place. I think he ever just got bored one day and he was just kind of like looking at the chair. One thing led to another.
Probably.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have blamed him. I mean, I think it's his basic curiosity at that point.
Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry did have a sweet little voice.
King of Cartoons broke it up before anything serious popped off.
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
The king of cartoons. That fucking show was awesome, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just said I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it, but I remember half the fucking cast, so it did something right.
Yeah. There you go, man. So anyway, once again, we veered off a little bit there, but chat room seems to enjoy the veering off. But Spark, we had a couple more things to get into, and then we'll talk a little NXT, and then I guess I will let you get into AEW because I didn't get to watch a damn minute of it tonight.
All right. Sounds like a plan for me. So it was a matter of debate whether or not we actually personally talked about this or not, but there was a rumor circulating that Adam Cole, prior to his departure from WWE, was going to be called up to the main roster. And he essentially, it was being described as he was going to have the gimmick that Lio Rush had with Lashley, but it would be for Keith Lee. Because he would basically just be like Keith Lee's hype man. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
First try every time. But he would be his manager essentially. He wouldn't be wrestling as much. He would be more of just a regular, your standard crony, as it were. And I had this pulled up, but then my dog decided that she was going to get in the way. There we go. Adam Cole confirmed to TV Insider that he had not heard plans to become a manager, and so basically he debunked it as being bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm 99.9% sure we did not talk about this because I kind of thought it was bullshit too. It just didn't sound. I'm like, even though Mr. It's Such Good Shit might have thought of something like this, not for an Adam Cole. I really don't think so. And it says that he never heard it from Vince himself. So, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Again, I think sometimes people just literally get drunk and call Meltzer in the middle of the night. And they're like, hey, check this story out, man. So, Adam Cole, right? Shut up. I'm going to tell him. Adam Cole, right? He goes, Keith Lee, manager, kind of like Rush, Lio, Rush. Print it, man, later. and Dave goes, let me fill in these blanks. Okay. All right.
You know for a fact that there had to have been plenty of wrestlers that would just occasionally call him up and just make up shit to amuse themselves on like a long road trip.
I would have loved to hear Dave's voicemail in the 90s.
Or just a bunch of really shitty, like, bad wrestler impressions.
He probably has that, like, in his, like, dying wishes. Burn the voicemail tapes. Okay.
Now, see, I would become a subscriber if he were to release any of those tapes. That's something I actually want. It's just like his daily voicemail messages of just like people wishing death upon him, people just making fun of him, bad wrestler impressions, fake news articles,
stories he got wrong. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I'm telling you, man. I wonder how many have drunk called him. Just totally fucked up, called Meltzer, told him this bullshit story. I guarantee Michael Hayes is probably guilty of at least 15 or 20 of those. Just, him, a bottle of Wild Turkey, and a fucking cell phone. It's all you need.
Well, I imagine those were pretty easy to like kind of swipe out and kind of snoop out because I just imagine every one of those had fucking Bad Street playing in the background at an extremely high volume.
And at one point he would go doot doot doot. All right, okay.
Singing along while giving the fake news. Hold on, Dave. Atlanta, GA, yeah. Turn that shit up, Derry.
Oh shit! I would love to hear. Oh God, I would love to hear one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! Michael Hayes and a bottle of Wild Turkey. Boy, I don't even like whiskey, and I would sit and drink with that man. I would drink it with that man. I would fucking do it with a smile on my face too. I'll bet that man has some stories that would just blow your fucking mind. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, this Adam Cole story, I kind of thought it was BS. And I don't know. And you obviously didn't bring it up either, so maybe we both thought it was bullshit. Who knows? So, all right. Guess we'll move on from that. Spark, we got one that we kind of both had here, and I didn't realize it, and neither did you. So why don't you go ahead and start it? And I've actually got some TMZ audio that we can play with this story.
Let's do it. This is from MSN.com, the ever reliable source for your wrestling information. Former WWE superstar. I'm going to add superstar. Why not? Hey, we'll have fun with it. Yeah. Al Snow's grappling skills came in handy on Thursday as he saved a child's life by pulling him from a riptide in Destin Beach, Florida. Snow, whose real name, why is that necessary, is Alan Servin, I guess, grew famous in the 1990s with gimmicks such as talking to a mannequin head and wearing a mask to wrestle as the Ninja Ranger. Let's see, in an interview with TMZ, Snow said he heard yelling from the ocean, then saw a young boy struggling to reach his floating device. The 58-year-old then jumped into action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, it's good to hear this story. It's good that they were both back, and his mind went where I believe everyone else's mind is going right now. Shad.
Oh yes, of course. It does kind of say that in the article,
right?
I don't know if that's part of the audio that you have, but he said the incident reminded Snow of Shad Gaspard, who died while swimming in California's Marina del Rey beach with his then 10-year-old son last May. Once the boy and his mom were reunited, they came to Snow to thank him. The boy then called Snow a bodybuilder, stoking Snow's ego a bit.
Bro, Snow does look pretty fucking badass at this age. So, anyway, we got about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 11 seconds here of audio, and let's go ahead and play it real quick from this little, this awesome fucking story. Here we go.
I didn't do anything that anybody else wouldn't have done, but I just we were a friend of mine, and we were out in the water in Destin Beach here, and I started hearing some people yelling. And I looked over and I saw a little boy. He was trying to swim and trying to reach his raft or his float. And as the water was pretty rough, especially in one particular area. And I think the riptide had caught him because every time a wave would come in, it would start to pull him further and further out. And I could see he was starting to panic. And I heard the mom screaming, somebody help him. And the lifeguard had gotten up, but I knew she wasn't going to make it in time. And I was still pretty far away, but I started running through the water and tried to get over there. And I made it, thank God. And I caught him just by the arm, just as a wave started to pull him even further out. If I hadn't grabbed him, I think he'd have went out to sea. I mean, that would have been it. And pulled him in, told him to hold on. And, thought, honestly, for a moment, I thought of Shad Gaspard for a second, because a wave took us both under right then, and then I was able to stay up and hand him off to the lifeguard, and I made my way back across to my friend, and we went up on the beach, and I felt like I was about to collapse. I was I was exhausted.
What was the reaction of everybody? How did
the mom ran out in the water and she grabbed her son and she was crying and she said thank you. And then when we were up on the beach, she and his name's Braden came up and thanked me again. And she said that Braden said the bodybuilder saved me, and I was like, ooh, I must look pretty good. So thankfully nobody was hurt. I think he was, rightfully he was really scared. He was really shaken up at first.
There you go. So yeah, like I said, his mind, I think, went where a lot of ours probably did go as this story was being told. But always great to hear a good story. Both him and the kid are fine, doing well, and it's just always good to hear these stories. Finally, when a lot of times wrestlers don't make the news for good stuff. Let's just put it that way.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So always great when they do make the news for something awesome they did like this. And there you go with that. So I guess that was about all we got with that.
I'll give him credit though. He's a worker because he was like, "Yeah, kid called me a bodybuilder. You hear that, Vince? Kids love me."
Guess I'm looking pretty fucking good, huh? Vince. What does everybody want? To be saved by Al Snow. That's right.
He's like walking away, and the kid's like, "Thanks, Avatar."
Aww.
It's like, you fucking little smarky bastard.
Thanks, Levi. What? Okay.
Your opinion on Savage and Steamboat sucks.
That would have been awesome. I was walking away, and the kid goes, "Hey, your opinion on Steamboat sucks. I didn't know what to do. I went back. I threw him in the fucking water." All right.
Chuck that motherfucker's bag in.
I found the hardest riptide I could find and tossed his ass back in the water. Then looked at his mom and said, "What does everybody want?" Okay. There's son back. Okay. All right, you swallowed your microphone again.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm saying that dad took you out to get in the
All right, I think we should move on. I really do. So we had NXT 2.0 Smark.
Yes.
Begin last night. Obviously, we know Triple H is kind of on the shelf right now. Had a cardiac event was the word they used, I believe. I saw a little bit of this. I did see some, but not all of it. I saw some of the wedding, which actually went through.
Yes, that was the swerve. The big swerve in this was that it actually fucking happened.
Well, he had a hatchet.
That's a good way to get the wedding to go through, too, though.
I mean, listen, if you're going to be packing, pack something. Hatchet's very good. Obviously, that was a very concealable weapon. I like that.
Is this sort of kind of alluding to the fact that old Dexter Loomis might be a juggalo? Is that where they're going to go with this?
Possibly. I don't know.
The insane clown posse?
All I was saying is that was a very smooth way to just, conceal a hatchet. I was very impressed.
Indeed.
As a concealed carry guy myself, I was impressed.
What particularly makes me laugh about this is we saw this last week with they were doing the bachelor/bachelorette parties. The idea is that Dexter Loomis's whole thing is that he's like a serial killer, or at the very least, they don't quite say serial killer, but the whole idea is that that's what it's implied. Mm-hmm. But he has a whole cast of like a whole grooms party of just like other wrestlers that are his friend, even though he's like a serial killer. And then on indie side of it is just like a bunch of, it looks like they hired like random like actresses or strippers because just for whatever reason she apparently doesn't have any friends in kayfabe.
Well, isn't she not from this country?
That actually makes perfect sense to me. That WWE logic would lead you to believe that it is worse to be a foreigner than a serial killer. Well, like she's even worse. She's from fucking New Zealand.
Yeah, but
they fired old boy, so I guess they couldn't use him.
Yeah, but what do you hear every time a serial killer is going? He was such a nice guy.
That's true.
He was he was quiet but so friendly and nice. But quiet. He was quiet. Kept to himself. You hear that one a lot. He kept to himself.
Just once I want to hear an interview where it's like, yeah, I knew that motherfucker was going to kill a lot of people.
That motherfucker was crazy. Okay.
Look, I saw him going through my garbage, and when I told him to stop, he sort of pulled a switchblade on me, and I was like, this guy's giving me a bit of a reason for concern.
I told every fucking neighbor he's cutting people up. Not one motherfucker believed me here. Okay. Now what y'all say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See?
That got me excited because that's like kind of a plot, a recurring plot in like so many fucking slasher movies. Is like there's always the one guy that's like, I wouldn't go there because 20 years ago a bunch of teens got murdered at that campsite, and they're always like, oh fuck you, crazy old Joe, and they go anyway, and then a bunch of them die. And it's like, was he really that crazy? He was like, hey, that's probably not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, go armed. If you're gonna go, bring a hatchet at least. So anyway, Smart NXT 2.0. Let me just start right away. New logo. What do you think?
The logo isn't so bad. It's just everything that they use to accentuate the logo is like kind of an eyesore.
The logo makes me. I'm gonna just kind of be honest here. It makes me think I just puked on acid.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I honestly, the color. I don't mind the colors. Honestly, I actually think it's kind of cool the way it is, but it just looks pretty fucking trippy. It does look like someone just puked on acid and said, "Oh, that's awesome."
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's got the N on the left. It's got the little kind of, it's got the hook on the little font, almost like a point right there. And I mean, it's a little blocky compared to what it was, but different, but kind of cool in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It does symbolize a new direction that they're trying to go in, and that's about as far from the old direction as you could possibly go in terms of stylistically.
Yeah, and they had a few things happen last night. I guess the first thing we should actually do is Samoa Joe put out a little 1 minute, 20-second video relinquishing the title, claiming injury. A lot of people are calling bullshit. Has he even defended the title yet?
No, he won. He beat fucking Karrion Kross at the pay-per-view, and then that was it.
All right. Now, I mean, he could have got hurt training or something. Who knows? Working out.
I kind of tend to believe it because, unfortunately, the guy's got a history.
True.
Like, I feel bad for him, but it seems like he can't catch a break with that shit.
True. So, let's go ahead and start with that quick 1 minute, 21-second video. Bang.
I'm NXT champion Samoa Joe. Upon my recent return, my goals were very simple. I sought to ensure the respect and integrity due to both NXT and its championship. I sought to ensure that everybody understood that the needs of one individual will never outstrip the sum of the brand. Today, I find myself having to stand on those principles. Recently, WWE Medical has informed me that due to certain injuries, they would like to have me step away from the ring for a brief, yet still indeterminate amount of time. I realize that this week we are on the cusp of a new NXT. We are on the brink of a new era in our history. And I realize that that era deserves a fighting champion. And that's why it makes this a very difficult decision. Effective immediately, I relinquish the NXT championship. Best of luck to those who will vie for it. My sincerest condolences to whoever wins, as I will be along shortly to recollect what's mine.
All right. That didn't seem written to you at all?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's hard to say, whether or not they kind of, it's a legitimate injury and then they built that around it, or they wanted to just do something to kick off the beginning of the new NXT, and that's what they decided to do. It's hard to say.
That's what I mean. It almost seems like that's what he was saying, is that they wanted to kick it off, and Ciampa became champion.
Right. Which, I mean, that kind of, to me, I feel like if you're going to start off new again, you kind of just put the belt back on the old guard. So it kind of seems counterintuitive with the decision, if they did make the decision to strip him of the belt just so that they could kick off NXT in, like a special way.
but an NXT staple.
That's true.
I mean, you think NXT? I mean, this is the guy that came out and, you know, I believe it was when Finn Balor came out and he told him, you know, welcome to the main roster. Or who was that he said that to?
That sounds. I mean, I remember him saying that, but I mean that sounds right.
I think it might have been, but you know, I got no problems with Ciampa being champion. Don't try to say that too quickly, at all. I think it's actually a good move. Like I said, he's a staple, man. He's a staple when you think about NXT, and who else to bring in the new NXT, but a staple of the old NXT.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a little bit, you know, you got to have that little bit there too. Can't completely shake it up. Shake it up. But I guess, you know, it was the usual crew running things this time. I guess they said Kevin Dunne was back there running things, you know, Pritchard, McMahon. So just another WWE production.
Yep, and they wasted no time making that clear because they went to the old familiar form of having somebody wrestle twice or having a match get restarted.
Well, that's kind of like been their new little go-to lately.
Yes, just having one or perhaps multiple people work 2 or 3 times in one night for just seemingly no apparent reason.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Never hurts. Few little things I will get into real quick on NXT, like Diamond Mine introduced their first female.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I like this girl. I like this girl. Her name is Ivy. What was the name? Ivy. Shit, I forgot it.
She made a lasting impression. I can't. I'm having a hard time remembering too.
Nile.
But yeah,
Ivy Nile.
Okay, yes, Ivy Nile.
Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile is her name. Wow, what another one. They got a lot of girls there with some fucking hardcore physiques, man.
Just some old beef to them, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got that girl from the one from Hit Row. You got this one now coming out. These girls are fucking ripped, man. But I believe this girl's a former MMA fighter.
Let me take a look here real quick.
Let's see. Yep, former MMA competitor. She was a former MMA fighter, so they picked her up. Let's see. Ivy Nile. There it is. Real name Emily Anzulis. And Zulis. A-N-D Zulis. And Zulis. So let's see something real quick here. But she was the winner of 2019's The Rock with that Titan game show.
Yeah, oh yes. Because that was the line that stuck out to me.
Right.
Was Malcolm Bivens says that she was the star of the Spartan games, and I was like, star? If I could, people watch that show?
I guess it was on Hulu too.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, that's more of a platform, I suppose.
Oh yeah, you can binge watch on Hulu that show.
That's never been a thing for me. I have the same problem with American Ninja Warrior because it's never just, hey, you want to watch people run obstacle course? I'm okay with that part of it. But there's always a 20-minute monologue about somebody who has a sick parent or child. And it's like, I don't want to be depressed. I just want to watch people run a fucking obstacle course. Why can't you just give me American Gladiators?
Yeah, exactly. Give me what NXT started out as. Okay. But
how great would that have been? I can think of like 8 different ways they could have ended the wedding. But idea number 1, maybe not even ended it, but like, okay, actually, yeah, sure, end it. You have, they say their vows or whatever, and they kiss, and this, that, and the third. And then as a way to kick off the celebration, you have fucking Titus O'Neil show up carrying a keg over his head. Like, it's perfect. I love it.
And falling, of course.
Yeah, he just says like party time and then like topples over.
He did drop the keg.
Oh yeah, he did for sure.
Did.
Yeah,
he did. He dropped the keg. Yeah. But I'm curious to see what they do with this girl, but she is one, as Dirk is saying, she is put together. I agree. She is a very put together and very, very attractive woman. So I'm very curious to see where they go with her. I don't think I've ever seen her actually wrestle.
I haven't. I have not seen her wrestle either. I don't know. I'm kind of hit and miss when it comes to like women like this, where it's like some of them they do it for me, and some of them they don't.
Well, she does it for me. That's all that matters.
Hey, there you go. I'll give it some time. I'll report back. I'll report back in a month or two.
Speaking of beautiful women on NXT, Mandy Rose also debuted a new look last night, which, my God, she looks even hotter with brown hair. Beautiful. That girl's just amazing. Another one put together like a fucking shit brick house.
Okay, and I was talking about this in the chat, but I got a kick out of this. This was like arguably my favorite part of the show because she comes out there. She comes out to break up this tag match that's going on,
right?
Because she's been hanging out with like Gigi Dolan and her friend. They have a whole little stable going on, and they're facing the old Team K because you had Catanzaro and Carter. So she comes out, and they're putting it over like they have no idea who this woman could possibly be. Like they've never seen this person in life. Who in the wild, wild world of sports could this possibly be? And meanwhile, it's Mandy Rose, but she just has a hair covering, so you can't see that she has anything has happened with her hair. But it's still you can still see her complete face. You can still see her regular body. She's wearing like the same kind of attire that she normally does, but just without her hair. It's like the whole fucking Superman Clark Kent thing where it's like, oh, they can't tell it's Superman because he's not wearing glasses.
I don't care. She still looks good.
Oh yeah, she looks great, but it just made me laugh that they just put this over as like there's no way anybody could have possibly known who it was. It's like you can see her face.
Yeah, she came out there with JCJ and Gigi Dolan, like you said, or Gigi Dolan. And I like them both now. What they brought up, though, is everyone was commenting on the outfit that JC Jane had on. It was the same outfit that Britt Baker wore at All Out. Like exact. Exact. So that was one of the things. But yeah, Mandy Rose, once again, new look, brown hair, more makeup, but looking hot.
There you have it.
So there we go with the women. We had Ben Buchanan, Bull Buchanan's son, who I mentioned last week, I believe. Just last week, I believe they were saying he was signed. He made his NXT debut as Brooks Jensen. Sounds like a country singer.
A little bit.
So does the other guy, Josh Briggs. He came out with. They both sound like country singers. This Jensen and Briggs. Right?
You definitely sound me on this, and it's not even like the good country. It's like the frat boy country. Where like they just hit the same tropes, and then they mention like somebody from the old days that actually was good. So you start thinking about them and not how bad their song sucks.
I could hear Jensen and Briggs covering Neon Moon right now. I'm telling you, they sound like a fucking country band.
They could go back to this gimmick. It's been a minute since it had like old fucking Road Dogg out there doing the country singer gimmick with Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, there you go, man. Yeah, I think we should. I think we should do this. Christopher Kane says it sounds like a Vince Russo thing. Bro, I'm telling you, they're country singers, right? Oh, bro, the country singers, all right? They come out, they got to get the hats. We got to get the 10-gallon hats, bro.
There's always got to be a twist, so he's like, and then 2 weeks later, bro, they'll be gay. He's like, why? Like, I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Did you ever see Brokeback fucking Mountain?
Hey, bro. The mountain of horses, they mountain each other. The kids will love it, bro.
Then, this is where the poll comes in, bro. Okay. All right, okay.
In many different ways.
Okay, I guess we should wait a few weeks for that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is 2021 after all. I mean, that might offend someone. Okay, I got you. Okay. We'll skip that.
I want that to be what Vince Russo pitches now. It's just a twist. He just always just makes people gay. It's like, all right, so he works at a grocery store, but he's gay.
And then there's a pole match.
Mm-hmm.
Right after.
Of course, it's got to be a pole because it's like, no, Vince, we're going to cut you off right there.
It's that great? Okay. Yes, it is.
Okay, so she gets Sonya Deville to come back. And she's not going to win the pole match because she's scared of the pole because then it's like, all right, Vince.
Good, it's phallus-like. You get it? Okay. No? All right.
He said like 20 minutes later, he's still trying to explain it.
Bro, it's long. No? Pole? No? Okay. All right. Anyway.
One of my favorite things, and I hope it's still on, I think I saw it on YouTube, I hope it's still there, was him reviewing a New Japan show where he just pronounced every one of their names, but each one was wrong to just an impressive amount of level.
Well, I'm not saying anything for that one. Okay.
Oh, it can be hard sometimes. I know the pain, but it's just amazing because it's a thick ass Brooklyn accent, and you would think that he might get one or two right by mistake, but no,
not at all. But we also, before we go way too deep into this with the poll, bro, we had another debut. Wasn't a bad one. Wasn't a bad debut at all. But the name is what we're all complaining about. We had the son of the legendary Rick Steiner make his in-ring debut, and his name is what? Rick Steiner. Mm-hmm. And they brought him out as Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker. 2 Ks. Braun, B-R-O-N, like
yes,
Tron.
They went back to Brackus spelling.
Yes, exactly. Braun, spelled like Tron, B-R-O-N, Breaker with 2 Ks. Okay. WTF. I got nothing else. What the fuck were they thinking with this?
Well, I think you have to pick. You have to make a choice.
Oh boy.
Because I don't mind this necessarily if you bring him out with this stupid name and you try to make him his own person. That's fine. But then they're going to do this name that everybody hates, and then they're also going to bring him out with the Steiner fucking singlet on. The old 1990s WWF Steiner Brothers era fucking bright multicolored singlet. So it's like, make up your mind what you're going to do. He's either going to be his own person or he's not going to be his own person.
Well, it did match the logo.
Sure.
It did match the new coloring in the logo, so I'm sure that's what. Oh, I'm sure that was Vince. Oh, Vince loved it. Oh, matches the logo. Look at this guy. Look at this. But, I mean, Christopher Kane, Rex Steiner is a badass name. You're right. It is. What is wrong? What do these people have against the legacy of former wrestlers that they just refuse? Fucking Mike McGillicuddy. Fucking, I mean, come on. These people, they'd be better off using their fucking real last name or their, what their names are known as. Steiner. What's wrong? This guy looks like a fucking Steiner.
He's even got a little bit of the vocal cadence, which I'm hoping at some point this just leads to him walking around in the back and Samoa Joe bumps into him and he's like, "Hey, watch where you're going, fat ass!" And then chainmail headdress falls from the sky. He's like, that's it. You're finally ready. You're ready to do this.
He does. He looks like Rick, but he's got Scott's body.
Mm-hmm. And he's got the Scott Steiner cadence. So if he can if he can really get in touch with that, if he can dig and find it in his soul to start cutting the fucking Scott Steiner promos, it's going to be great.
Well, Scott's not allowed in the building, So
Oh no, absolutely not.
I'm sure there's a picture of him outside of NXT too. But yeah, I again, it wasn't a bad debut. He came out, he beat LA Knight, which you know I have no problem with that shit. It's just
I felt like you would have loved this episode of NXT because the first thing I see after NXT is over is people complaining that LA Knight lost twice in one night, and I was like, "Oh man, Box is gonna love this show." And somebody like Brian Zanes put out a tweet that was like, "Why would you have LA Knight lose twice in a row?" And like the very first comment, it has like the most likes is the clip from the fucking Pop Copy skit on Chappelle's show of just why? Because fuck him, that's why.
because the guy is shit.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you, the guy, I'm telling you, the guy is not what everyone thinks he is. He's a fucking one-trick pony, and I will not be surprised if within the next 1 or 2 rounds of releases, LA Knight is in them.
He's a good hand, but I mean, like, what are you going to get? I don't think he's somebody that you can build a future around.
They're trying to build a lot of new hands and a lot of good hands. They're trying to do that now.
Okay, so there's one, because we've talked about it was a night of many debuts or vignettes of new characters being introduced. And I don't know if you saw this because it was quick, but there's a guy, Tony D'Angelo. Did you see this at all?
No.
I wish you would have. Let's see. I could probably dig it up here. It's only like a minute or two long.
Yeah.
But they're going back to his gimmick, which is sort of weird, but it is actually who he is, I guess, in a sense. He's from Chicago, but he like went to college in New York and lived in New York. So his whole gimmick is that he's from Chicago, but he's your stereotypical Italian mafioso character.
Ah.
Which I did find the promo. It is a minute long. I'm going to post it in this here Mixler chat.
Yeah. Oh, Dirk says that he thinks LA Knight's being brought up to the main roster. That'll give me another reason not to watch. But please bring him to SmackDown because I'm doing Hollywood Hangout during SmackDown anyway. I don't really give 2 shits.
That's the thing. Like, as ridiculous and far-fetched as that seems, that's how they move people up. That's how they give people belts and push people, is they just have them lose a bunch and then suddenly they win a big match.
But that guy, I mean, you know. All right, let me do this. Okay, here we go. Let me skip the trial of YouTube Premium, please. Let me get some volume over here on the little mixer. Here we go. Let's start with that much.
You see, I was born and raised in the streets of Chicago. And I come from a long line of businessmen. See, my family has interests in waste management, the fish market, the meat market, you name it. But I found success in my own way. Amateur wrestling at the University of Buffalo. And I was even named All-American for the Greco-Roman style. But my family, they smartened me up. Because let's face it, there's no real money to be made in amateur wrestling. But you know where the real money is? NXT.
First of all, he's got a little bit of a De Niro look to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, young De Niro look. He's got the De Niro look to him. Second, I love that he's kind of kicking in the Chicago with the New York.
See, when I saw this promo, I immediately paused. I was watching the Hulu version. I immediately paused and began doing a deep dive as to whether or not if I could find out who this guy is, and if I could verify this claim. Because as soon as the promo kicks in, he goes, "I'm from Chicago." I said, "No, you're not. You're a fucking liar. Do not lie to me, son."
No, I think he's got a little bit of the Chicago with the New York.
I reckon so, because I looked and I verified the claim has been verified. He actually indeed was from or is from Chicago. I found his LinkedIn page, which is funny because he has, and I can try to post it here in the old Mixler chat, but he has NXT listed on his LinkedIn, on his resume. And then it's like he was a server at Denny's and then a substitute teacher, and he worked as like a delivery driver for a pizza place in New York.
That's ballsy. Man, it's That's a little odd for 2021.
I was, because okay, his actual name is Joe, and I'm going to spell it because it sounds like areola, but it can't be areola. It's Joe. Well, I'm not going to spell Joe for you. You fucking know how to do that. Ariola.
That's areola.
Yeah. I swear to God, we've had to have talked about this guy before while talking about their new class of signings, because I remember distinctly the argument of, is this areola? Is this not areola? And they were going to post the LinkedIn profile, which is weird that it's so easy to find out about these people.
I just remember now we did talk about this guy when he was signing because of the last name. But looks like that's definitely him. Looks like he's oh wow, substitute teacher, yeah. Crystal Lake, Illinois, Buffalo, New York. Wow. It even tells what high school he went to. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody wants to stalk him, it is apparently really easy to do because this took me about 5 minutes.
Looks like he was at one point thinking about getting into real estate. Looks like he went to a real estate school. Not bad. Always nice. Always good to have a real estate license.
It makes me laugh because, like, the shortest stint, I guess it's a tie, but the shortest stint is substitute teacher for 6 months. He just tried that. He was like, man, fuck this.
Well, he was also a sales associate for Niagara Bike Rentals for 9 months. He was a server at Bob Evans for 10 months. He was, the delivery driver, 6 months. Yeah, I would say fuck that. But he was, the delivery driver was 6 months too.
Yeah, so it's a tie, but I feel like he would have done that more had he have not gotten robbed, which is what I'm assuming happened. Because that shit happens quite a bit when it comes to delivery drivers.
Looks like he was trying to just keep his head above water till he found something for him.
Mm-hmm. But I guess to go back to this gimmick, this character, I'm like really surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, it coincides with the fact that they have the new Sopranos movie coming out.
True.
So I guess that's kind of a thing, but I'm just like, this I guess it's okay because I guess it's like Italians don't care. But it's just like this shit seems very stereotypical. It's like they're fucking rehashing the FBI essentially.
Yeah, but it's stereotypical white guy. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess too. I don't know. I'm making dumb excuses at this point. I don't know. It is stereotypical, but let's face it. This kind of stereotype has just never lost its way.
No, it is weird how like at this point the only like stereotypes that are like acceptable, the only people that you're like allowed to make fun of these days is just like you can make fun of Italians and the Irish. Everyone else is like just hey, lay off them. They've had enough.
And rednecks.
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's three. You gotta.
But I think rednecks is really more of like kind of just a lifestyle choice and not so much of like how you're born.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, like, I'm from Chicago, but I've spent time in Southern Illinois, and like, it's every bit as hickish in Southern Illinois as it is in fucking Chattanooga or wherever.
Oh, dude, that's same in South Florida, man. South Florida is mostly fucking more redneck than Texas, believe it or not. Well, not the area I'm in now. The area I'm in now is pretty fucking redneck, but. No big deal. I like it. I like being out in the country, just hearing fireworks at fucking midnight for no reason. At all.
Yes.
Yeah, just shit blowing up, gunshots. Fucking love it. Absolutely. Oh, looks like everyone's giving old Dan Lambert. I'm gonna have to go back and watch AEW.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed that promo, and I am going to double back and take a look at that because I love his promos.
Oh, Paige Van Zant was out there with him. She's wonderful to look at.
I slightly feel bad for her because I have never seen somebody have their OnlyFans page leaked as many times as I've seen hers.
I don't think she cares, dude. I really don't.
I think she tried to fight it for a while and then just gave up. It's like, I fucking whatever.
I don't think she cares, man. But what else do you have on AEW? Again, it was my son's birthday. We went out for dinner. I did not have time to watch it tonight, so I apologize, but I got 2 birthdays in September now. I have one on the 9th and one on the 15th. So I have a new 2-year-old and a new 13-year-old. Oh, my Lord. I have a teenager and a 2-year-old. Someone kill me.
Well, I guess it was kind of the night of women that were really attractive that you did not expect to see, because like we were just saying, Paige Van Zandt was there with Dan Lambert, and Rosario Dawson was also in the mix tonight.
Really?
Yes. Malachi Black came out to the ring. He was cutting a promo, kind of talking shit about Cody, and then they cut to somebody, just a figure wearing a hoodie, wearing like the old Cody Rhodes hoodie. And like, you couldn't tell at first, but they're like, "Oh my God, that's Rosario Dawson's here!" And so like Malachi Black comes out and she's like talking shit to her, and she ends up like jumping on his back, and he's like having the hardest time in the world trying to get this like 115-pound woman off of his back. And I think that's not because, I think more than anything, it's because he just wanted that to happen for an extended period of time. I think he could have gotten her off as quickly as possible. But he was like, I'm gonna lay in this for a minute.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit.
So then, of course, this leads to the triumphant return of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is back. I'm just gonna like start blending his name together so I don't have to talk to him about him for an extended period of time. And there's they brawled outside for a while. They like outside, they went through over the barricade, and they were brawling on the outside for what felt like an eternity because it was a Cody segment. I started looking at circular saws. And they went to a commercial. I'll post a little, like somebody posted it on Twitter here of her. It's just, you don't have to play it, but I'm just, as you can see it. There's a guy who's wearing a rather fucking sweet Dusty Rhodes costume too.
Awesome.
Because it's like, it's great because it's not even like he spent time like creating this elaborate cosplay. He just like bought a costume from the party store, which is like way better. Like you'll see in a second here. There you go. It's on the old Mixler chat. So that was a thing. There was a lot of just people, unfortunately, like the matches were pretty decent, but there was just a lot of people who I just didn't kind of give a fuck about this episode. Because you had a Shawn Spears match. Shawn Spears wrestled Darby Allin. You had a FTR match. Cody Rhodes came back. So there was just like, up until the main event, it was kind of littered with people who I cared very little for.
Yeah. Now I'm a bit confused. What does Rosario Dawson have to do with this?
She's on the Go Big show. I guess they're doing season 2. They're on that show together. I had no idea for a minute either. I was like, okay, like I'm glad to see her, but what the fuck does she have to do with anything?
Yeah, I would definitely let her stay on my back for a good 2-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Nice Cody out there dressed like the devil in his red suit. Fucking red suit. I'm looking for the Dusty guy in the crowd. Is he in the crowd?
Yeah, he's in the crowd. I posted the link before you even hit play. It's like in the thumbnail.
Oh. All right, hold on. Let me hold on. I kind of went to full screen so I could see Rosario Dawson. Oh yeah, flex. There you go, girl. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm getting there, Smart. All right, let me back up the video here. Oh, I see it there.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. Yeah.
It's amazing. Like somebody bought like a full-on adult-sized Dusty Rhodes costume and wore it, and it was great.
It's the body and all. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Hey, like for those who can't see it, it's like they sell for the kids outfits where even the arms are like kind of the fabric of the arms, because it's like a full sleeve costume. And like from head to toe, it's completely like painted up where it would be like how Dusty Rhodes used to wear the old polka dot singlet.
That was fucking awesome right there. Absolutely awesome. And yes, Christopher Kane, you are correct. She is married to the New Jersey Senator Cory Booker.
Interesting.
I do not hold that against her. I hold something else against her, but not that. What else you got on AEW, Mark?
The opening match was Adam Cole versus Frankie Kazarian, and that was pretty good. Adam Cole won that one, of course. That went for probably about a good 15 minutes or so, I would say. You would have been happy. There was a Jade Cargill match. She took on what's her name? The Russian lady, this tiny Layla Hirsch. There we
Layla
go.
Hirsch. I like both of them.
Yes, I mean, I actually enjoy her quite a bit too. She had a good match with Camille, the Empower.
Whoa.
Her whole thing is basically she just suplexes the shit out of everybody. So she's basically doing a female Chaz gimmick.
Okay, I
There was a particularly good segment where MJF comes out and he cuts a promo on Brian Pillman and everything, and he keeps making fun of his mom and calling his family's legacy a sham and all of this shit. It's a typical MJF promo, but it's a good promo. But the part of it that I like is they cut to a pre-taped segment with Jim Ross interviewing Brian Pillman Jr. and he's just fucking laying into him. Because he's like, when I left the arena last week, I was sad because that man completely desecrated your legacy and you let him do it. You're going to have to beat him or if you ever want to make good on your family's name. And I'm just like, Jim Ross is just fucking laying into this poor kid. And he's trying his best to cut a promo, but he's already starting at a deficit. So I felt a little bad for him.
JR's like, I'm pretending you're Vince right now. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm sorry. I had a little flashback there.
Working through some things.
Just trying to work shit out, Just sorry about that. Didn't mean to. That was like when Bruce Lee lost his shit in that Enter the Dragon movie. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I for sure I thought I was in a dream.
Oh my God!
God damn it! Get your family name back. Oh shit! Oh God! Flashback.
My God, there's a new fucking. I'm looking through Twitter to see if there's anything that I had forgotten. There's a new Cody Rhodes T-shirt, and it's terrible. It's just I can't make a joke about it. It just looks stupid.
Okay, I mean, all right. Let's see here. Let me check this bad boy. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely so. Actually, I can make a joke about this. This is definitely something Jerry Lawler would wear that everybody would make fun of him for.
It's the tattoo on Cody's neck. It's two color. It's on a black tee. It's blue with orange, basically fire. It's the tattoo on Cody's neck, basically just on fire and being burnt apart.
Which may be a foreboding sign of the future when some poor unfortunate tattoo artist has to get this off of his body.
Oh, and you know what? It's three color. There's white in there also, so it's white, blue, and orange. This is this. I mean, you know who would love this? This is Triple H, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is going to buy one of these. You know that, right?
It's gonna be like a picture of him in the hospital bed with a thumbs up, wearing the fucking Cody Rhodes T-shirt.
Stephanie's got her back turned.
That's it.
Stephanie's in a hoodie in the background.
She's in a hoodie and she has her back to the camera. Just full on, not taking any chances.
But you can tell because of her fucking man legs.
Mm-hmm. You can't even see her face, but she's scowling because it's just Stephanie.
It's Stephanie, yeah. Man, Triple H, what did you do, brother? Oh, but all right. What else on AEW, or is that it?
Well, we're reaching an end here. Like I said, FTR was they took on Dante Martin and Matt Sydal. FTR ended up winning that one. We were talking about the Dan Lambert promo. I just said I didn't get to see it, but apparently Jericho and Hager came out to interrupt them because the whole thing is just, if there's a real men in the back there that can shut us up, come and do it. So they came out and they're going to have a match on, I believe it's the episode of Dynamite next week, because they're promoting both of them pretty heavily. Dynamite and Rampage are both going to be 2 hours next week. And I believe it's the Dynamite next week that they're going to be wrestling on. So that should be interesting.
It's a good time to get Tyson back on.
Mm-hmm. There's a great little promo by Sean Spears where he's talking about Darby Allin. He's like, Darby, you have the gall to call me generic. I'm like, yeah, it checks out. I like how in kayfabe now, they're just saying that you're fucking boring. They're giving him the Lance Storm gimmick.
The shoe fits, Mark.
So Darby Allin ended up winning that match. I guess their feud's going to keep going. I don't really care. There was a little interaction between Taz and Punk. Taz was talking some shit. Punk got up. Hook stood up to him, which made me laugh because poor Hook is like 2 inches smaller than Punk, who's not a tall man himself. But then Powerhouse Hobbs like blindsided him, attempted to put him through a table. The table didn't break. So unfortunately, there was some like kind of a flashback to when Ryback tried to put him through a table and it didn't work. These tables are getting fucking sturdier and sturdier, boy.
Put fucking Layla Hirsch and Hook in a match. That's a maybe he'll look tall finally. I'm telling you, man. I thought Marco Stunt ran in the ring once when he ran in.
He's not a big man. He's not a big man at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I don't know. I mean, we really haven't seen him wrestle. Still, not much. Have we? No,
not really. No,
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Okay.
So there was a confrontation between Danielson and Omega. Danielson wants to challenge Omega to a fight. Omega was talking about how hard his decision was to leave WWE, and it made me laugh because Callis came out there and he was like, "Oh yes, it must have been really hard for you to take just $1 million contract to come wrestle here and capitalize off of the work that we put into this company." It was just like, damn. You are fucking. You kept referring to him as a millionaire hippie, which made me laugh.
They're fucking shooting some fucking shit on this show.
So long story short, they trade barbs for a minute, and Danielson ends up issuing a challenge to Omega, which Callis declines, and he basically gives him the "bitch, I wasn't talking to you" vibe. So then Omega ends up accepting the challenge. They're going to wrestle next week on the live. I think that's the New York show, the Arthur Ashe show, next week. So they're going to be wrestling on that. They set that up. Okay. Main event was Moxley and Kingston versus 2.0. Kingston, Moxley more or less squashed them. I mean, they got some offense in. They took a good beating, but they ended up winning in the end. And then it's become a whole thing on the internet. There's a little bit of a subplot to this episode of Dynamite where they talked about how short that Moxley Suzuki match was. And it's become described as the Suzuki incident of Moxley coming out. And basically they've turned kayfabe into Moxley intentionally like cut off his music before everybody could sing along with it. So they're building that up. They were talking about that and how just, Minoru Suzuki like busted his ass and he will not be disrespected. He will not put up with the bullshit and blah, 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 so on and so forth. Him and Archer cut a little promo. And then after the match, like I said, Kingston and Moxley won. Suzuki's music started playing and he came out and then Archer jumped Kingston from behind and they had a good little 5-minute brawl, which they haven't announced a match yet, but it's pretty obvious that that's where we're going, getting ourselves a nice little tag team match, Moxley and Kingston versus Suzuki and Archer. So that should be pretty good.
Nice. Seems like a good show. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this shit. Most definitely have to do that, man. So
there's some high points. There's some good matches. Like I said, there's a little too much of people I didn't care about throughout the show, but they balanced it out with people that I did enjoy seeing. So, and it had some ups and some downs, but I think overall it was a pretty good show.
All right. Well, nice, man. I guess that's all we got then, man. I'm looking around and I don't see anything else, anything going on. So I guess that means we wrap this motherfucker up, don't it?
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right, which means you can take your drunken ass home. And that means you guys can check out the high marks. That's right. Cheeseman Mojo G Wiz over there. Where? Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt. Do not forget when you check them out on Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Excuse me for that one. And of course, you got Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blaze. Check out the Inhumans over there on the Inhuman Experience. Check them out on all the usual podcast platforms. And while you're there, check out the Unscripted Wrestling Podcasts. It's Eric, it's Doug, it's Daniel. You can check them out right there on all those usual podcast platforms. And, of course, Blog Talk Radio. Stephen Milan sharing the show. Listen to him reviewing some films over... read him reviewing some films over there at letterboxd.com/Stephen Milan. There's 2 L's in Milan. And don't forget, I will be reviewing Dirty Work this week on this Friday on Hollywood Hangout, so don't forget to check that out on this Mixler you're on right now. And you can always find me and Smark everywhere: Spreaker, iHeart, YouTube, Anchor, everywhere. Go ahead, Smark.
You got it. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network here on the Mixler Machine. It is Cheese on Sports with Cheese Man, G-Wiz, Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. Be sure to check us out Sundays, 10:30 a.m. on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network on the Mixler Machine. It is the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. And last, never, ever, 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 ever released is our friends at Planet Rack on Tour. This is Planet Rack on Tour podcast. It's Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, Young Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for you from season 1, and season 2 is ongoing, so be sure to subscribe.
There you go. Once again, season 2 coming at you. Do not forget to check it out. All right. So we will be back here, me and Smart, next week, next Wednesday night. Same time, same place. Once again, don't forget to catch me Friday night. Dirty Work.
Drink some more. Time for the band to hit the door. We're going home. It's time to take the band home. It's all right. If you don't know what to do.